In three, two, one. Hello and welcome to the Juice Podcast. This is where we learn how ordinary people can turn the struggles and hardships of life and turn it into something amazing. I'm your host, Jose Peña, and today I'm with my co-host, Eman.
Howdy. Glad to be back.
It is good to be back. And today for our guest will be Hanah. Hey, Hanah.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. Oh,
We're all
so
good. We're all good.
How's ECQ kicking in between the two of you?
Pretty much same old, really. Just me at best. We are handling it as best we can.
mhm.
Yeah,
I mean,
think,
again,
Pretty much.
don't we all?
yeah, don't we all?
Hanah, for
Yeah.
everybody who don't know you, can you explain something about yourself or share a bit?
Yeah. Interests,
Um,
stuff you do, hobbies.
well, so you can call me Han. I will start with my nickname. And I'm currently studying BS psychology. So I don't really have that many hobbies. I think
Hey, another
um
psychologist.
yeah, another
Yeah.
psychologist. Well, not yet.
Soon
Anyway,
to be.
so hopefully. Anyways, about my hobbies. I really don't have that much hobbies because I think ECQ took a lot from me ever since lockdown.
It's
I
fine.
wanted to go out with my friends, do stuff, hang out, explore adventures, something like that. But you can't do something like that when you're stuck at home, right? So
Yep.
basically, what I'm just doing is watching K drama, scrolling through Facebook, trying to make myself busy, exercise. So basically,
Hey,
that's just it. Cooking, I also like cooking.
oh, you do
When,
cooking too?
but yeah, I do. I do. I love cooking as much as I love
Oh,
eating. It's just that I don't want to do the dishes.
I'm pretty sure contradicting yourself saying you have a few hobbies there, Hannah.
I
Hey,
think so
having
too.
more than two hobbies is a lot, okay? For a lot of people.
it is a
Well,
lot.
I'm just realizing that now. Actually,
Yeah, don't think your hobbies are minuscule. As long as you're doing something productive and healthy for yourself, that's all good in my book.
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Sometimes I tend to minimize stuff when actually it's not that minimal.
It's fine. Never settle for less.
True. That's my motto right now. Don't settle for less, whatever that may be. Never, ever.
hmm
Actually,
So,
Eman also cooks, by the way.
yeah, I do my fair share of cooking because
What?
let's just say out of all of the let's just say people who are 20 below, I'm the only guy who knows how to cook competently. So yeah, if my parents are
Mm.
gone,
Really?
I'm the only guy responsible for cooking
So basically,
because I have the
you're.
patience to cook
I guess
and
you
the
also
passion, of
have the
course.
the the patience to do the dishes.
There's like six of us in a house, so it's not that taxing.
Well, good for
Oh,
you. That's
Eman.
good for you. You can just cook and let others do the dishes.
Hmm. I mean, I usually just like in my house. There's a rule: if one guy does something, another guy has to do something to make to make an equilibrium of chores in the house. So what I usually do,
That's
since I'm the only one
true.
who can cook, I cook and I pass the dishes duty to my cousins because they also have to do something for the house.
That's
Mm.
not the
Again, it's
same. And
productive.
yeah, it is, but that's my house. If I guess there's really no rules established, but it's like the culture already that when someone cooks, they should also do their dishes.
I see.
Something like
Eh,
Really?
that. Yeah.
eh. Cooking
I
and cooking
see.
Really?
and
I
cleaning
never,
is
never
different from
heard
every
that.
household. That's respectable.
And I just started to love cooking because I'm pretty much health conscious. It started like 2 years ago, I guess. It's
I see.
because
Mm.
yeah,
Why the
you
sudden
can.
change?
I don't know. I don't actually know what's the reason with that sudden change. It's just like one day I woke up and it kicks in me nga, oh my god, I need to start living healthy. Like
I see. I
Mm.
see.
living healthy also starts with the food you eat, right?
I
And
see.
Yeah.
and when you're the
Yeah.
one
It
cooking
does.
your food, you know what are the ingredients you're using, so you can
Mm-hmm.
control.
Mm-hmm. I
Mm.
see. I see. Oh, one other follow-up question. What
Mhm.
kind of food do you love cooking? Like for me, I'm a big fan of
Oh.
Indian food. I'm a big fan of American, Indian, Chinese food. Those are my
I
fave
don't.
foods.
I don't really do um Indian, Western, something like that. Just normal, common Filipino foods, and
Ah, okay.
I'm not into meat that much. I prefer
Ah,
eating
Mm.
okay.
vegetables, really.
But I
I see. I
didn't
see. I see.
know.
I see. But no, Hannah, do yourself a favor, and if you can, like, if you want veggie food, the Indians can deliver, and they can
Oh yeah,
deliver.
I can.
You haven't lived until you tried biryani or
Oh, biryani is the
vegetable
best one.
curry. Yeah, yeah, biryani or vegetable curry.
I don't, I don't
You will ascend to the heavens.
really, I don't really know what biljani did you say? But
Biryani.
um,
It's a rice
but
dish.
Biryani.
oh, but vegetable curry
There's
sounds
one.
so good.
Mhm.
Hmm.
There's one in Haro, I think, right?
Really,
Indian
I
restaurant,
don't.
I think. Right, Eman?
Where in Hara exactly?
I am not sure in Haro. I haven't really explored Haro that much when it comes to its cuisine. But for where I'm
Mm-hmm.
at in Villa, there's a good number of Indians here, and I know one restaurant that serves authentic biryani. Chicken
Authentic.
biryani, yeah, authentic chicken biryani, curry, and all that jazz. Growing up in the Middle East will open your mind to these flavors. Like seriously, like seriously. Most people put seasonings like 3 to 5 seasonings, right? The Indians
Yeah.
would put 10 if they wanted to.
Oh my goodness, that's a lot of like seasonings, my dude.
Yeah, like cumin,
Iman,
all that jazz. It's really good.
Iman
Trust
is
me.
starting to sound like he's a food critic or somewhat like a chef. I'm starting to forget that you're a diplomat. You're a future
Hey,
diplomat, but you're
hey,
into
as a
food.
diplomat, yeah, and hey, as a diplomat, food is a perfect tool for negotiation. It tells you a lot about the people's culture, and
Mm.
you learn to
Yeah, I
appreciate
do
it.
hear that.
Like especially me as a child of an expat, learning food from abroad really broadens up your idea to the cultures of other people and how you begin to love their culture, and for you to share your culture back to them.
Mm.
Simple as that.
That's true. Actually, that's true. I couldn't
That's
agree
good.
more.
Hmm. But enough of me. Let's remain to the main focus of you, Hannah. So
Ah,
yeah,
yeah.
aside from food, what else do you find interests at?
Mm,
Like what inspires you
what
Yeah,
inspires
in
me?
every day? Yeah.
yeah.
Like
Like, why do you wake
that's
up in the
a
morning?
that's a very broad question. Like,
Yes.
well, why do I wake up in the morning? That's a vague question because no one really ever knows if they're gonna wake up in the morning, right? But
Oh,
I'm
that's deep.
just I'm just gonna divert. Why do we keep on going forward every every time we wake up in the morning? Well, actually, I find it my family, I guess, aside from myself.
Hmm.
Yes.
I'm really
Yes. Continue on.
yeah. This is
There has to be
like
more to it. Like, not to belittle your family, but still, there's always
yeah.
something more.
Well, I guess for myself, actually, not to sound like I don't need to sound like I'm being selfish, but I really have no
It's
other
never selfish
reason.
to think for yourself. Correct that, Hannah. It's never selfish to think for yourself. Be confident
Oh
about
my
yourself.
god.
Be brave. Be brave to learn to say I, as in
Yeah.
yourself.
I think I'm getting preached here.
But it's true naman, di ba?
Yeah, it's true,
Yeah.
but I just don't know how to interact with you because the words that you're telling me are exactly the words that I need to hear right now. So it's kind of like whoosh, that
I
cuts
know,
deep,
but still.
dude.
Yeah, but still. Hey, the same thing could be said earlier with your statement. JM was quite impressed by that.
No,
So yeah, please
I'm
continue.
really impressed.
Mm.
Okay, so what inspires me to go on? It's my goals, my goals in life, the perspectives that I have
Mm.
right now, the pains that I experience, the struggles, the hardships, those are my inspiration. I mean, some people might look at their hardships and their struggles as a barricade or an obstacle
Mhm.
for their goals. They're getting unmotivated. They're getting, let's say, um, discouraged from going on because they're really they're really stuck in those hardships. But for me, I'm taking those hardships into my stepping stones. I'm making them into my stepping stones so that every day I could I have something to look back to. Like, oh, this is this is how far I've already gone. So
Mhm.
why stop? Why stop? Why not just keep going? Because those hardships will also teach you that there's more to come. If if there's something better, there's always something worse. So you just have to accept that and to learn from it. Thing like that. So I'm not gonna let my hardships or my struggles or my pains or whatever that is that's not um so good to 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 stop me from being aspiring or
Mhm.
from reaching for reaching what I want in life. That's it. Those lessons are meant those lessons are meant to make us stronger, not the other way
Yeah.
around.
As you know, in the basic parts of schemes of life, it's hard. Like the challenges we face is actually that like really motivates us to do more better,
To
or
do
like
better, yeah.
yeah, or to improve on something that, oh, I wish I should have done that, or like, oh man, oh, mistake like really made me like overthink, like.
I remember a quote. I read
Mhm.
this when I was in high school that hardships are there to prepare ordinary people for their extraordinary destinies, something like. So no matter how low I get in life, I always turn to God. That God, I know
Mm.
you will not gonna give me challenge if you know that I'm not gonna make it or I'm not gonna. So this is only your way of making me to a better, stronger, wiser person,
Mhm.
so that I could be prepared. I could be fully prepped for whatever awaits in me. Sure.
Mm. Like, yeah, religion is actually a good thing to have, right, Eman?
I mean, yeah. I mean, not necessarily religion, but faith. Faith to do something.
Faith. Yes, it
People,
is.
yeah, yeah. People underestimate that. Like, no matter what you believe in, as long as you have faith to do something and you have that drive to do something, that is never a negative. That's always a plus. That's regardless of religion itself. It's on belief itself.
Mhm.
Have faith on what you believe in, no matter what it is, and make sure you do what is right in the end of the day. And besides, it takes courage to do what you do, Hannah.
Yeah. It takes a lot of courage. And actually, I remember what you said earlier. I think it's you or Ross who said it, but um,
She does
those
her
like
research.
those those struggles or those hardships, they either make you or break you. So in that statement,
Mhm.
I guess it's also our choice, right? if those challenges, if we're gonna let those challenges make us or break us.
Exactly. Exactly.
Mhm. Like,
So I'm
yeah,
choosing the
it's
former one, not the latter.
it's actually really true. Like, what what you think is what you are.
Hmm.
That really, like, it really stuck to me. Like, I think it was Jordan Peterson who said it, or someone else. But yeah, what you think is what you are. And
Correct.
if you really wake up in the morning like feeling, oh man, I feel shitty today. Like, if you wake up in the morning feeling like, oh shit, I don't feel so good today. And
You're
you
gonna
know
feel
what?
you're gonna feel shitty for the rest of the day.
Yes, exactly. That
You have to
that is
start
why
your
it's like
day right.
it's you have to start your morning right, and you have to feel good in the morning. That's why people, like, when I see sometimes like, oh no, I'm gonna be late for work. You're gonna feel that
Yeah.
rush and that
The hustle comes in,
the
the
hustle, and
pressure, the
you're yeah.
anxiety,
hmm
everything.
You come to school or to work, for example, you're gonna have this feeling of, or your work will be very inconsistent, you know.
You're feeling
And
disoriented.
Yeah.
mhm,
Yeah.
that is why morning is the best part to recollect and to really say like, ah, yeah,
Hmm.
should feel good today.
So I was wondering if you guys also experienced the same thing, like where you slept with a heavy heart, or like you were overthinking and then the next day your mental state is also affected. Like um you woke up not feeling good because of those intrusive thoughts or those negative thoughts that you had the night before. I was wondering if I don't know if it's just me. That's why I'm
It's
asking you if you
everyone. It's
also.
everyone.
That's why I also have this question sometimes. How could we even start the day right if the moment we open our eyes we already don't feel good?
Mm,
Like the fact
I
that you're
mean,
opening your eyes doesn't already feel good.
well, if you ask me, the best way the best way to encounter that day for me personally is to persevere on, to keep moving forward. Because here's the thing: what ifs drilled into your brain is never good. Absolutely not good.
mm,
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So let's just say when I wake up in these kind of moments, I feel crap at night. I feel even crappier in the morning, but I still went on my day. For example, it's finals. It's understandable that people have these feelings. I take my
yeah, yeah,
test.
yeah.
I take my test, get done with it. Still exhausted taking it, but after a few hours of recollection, decided, wait a minute, today wasn't that half bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, like here's the thing. Regarding this kind of stuff, beating yourself up, only you can beat yourself up that bad. But
Ouch.
without, but with that same thing, I know, yeah, like seriously, if you don't talk to anybody about it, you're just gonna beat yourself up about it. Like the more you feel bad, and the less you talk to people about it, the more you beat yourself up for mistakes that, in the grand scheme of things, is minuscule. So, in the end of the day, you have to carry very thick skin because, again, you don't want to be rude to others just because you are having a bad day. That doesn't justify any action you do. So, the best thing you have to do is move on because there's only one direction you have to go. Really, it's not really a choice. It's more of a survival instinct. Again, for example, if a monkey is trapped, it usually tends to find a way out. And that kind of instinct is also passed on to us. So, use our instinct in order to persevere on. Because again, only we can beat up ourselves to it, and only we can find solutions out of it. So take things step by step. Don't don't try to eat an entire feast.
Baby
So yeah, that's
steps
pretty
it
much it.
is.
Yeah, yeah.
I really want
Mm,
to clap
yep.
my hands right now because your answer was so phenomenal. It really is. I'm not even sugarcoating things here.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah,
do.
it
You
is.
could. You could
It's a
be a.
good.
You could be a. You could be a guest in TEDx talks.
Oh, trust me,
Imagine Eman
I am no
becoming.
expert. I am no expert. That's the thing. I am no scholar. I am no scholar. I'm just a guy trying to go on forward.
Mhm. Which
But
is
I
Aren't
am
fair,
we
not
yeah.
one in a
all? Aren't
million.
we all trying
Yeah,
to
yeah,
go forward?
yeah. Here's the thing. I'm not 1 in a million with that resolve. It's just something we have to do, really.
Mm.
Like
That's true.
Because
again, being a stoic with this kind of stuff doesn't really mean you're emotionless. You just have to learn to control yourself.
controlling emotions, yeah.
It all
Yeah,
comes
That's
mind
down to
over matter.
self-control again.
mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
mind over
that's
matter.
why for me is every day, like going back to your question, like when I wake up, it's it's really important to overcome what you think, even though it's hard. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's gonna be a challenge, but that's why it's called a challenge. And the one solution that I have come up with is it's good to have a pen and paper when you wake up, as even
And then pen and
yeah,
paper.
yeah, like it's easier for me in my world. It's easier
Yeah.
for me to write it down and just to think about it and just endure it for the whole day, you know. Because sometimes when I do think about like especially like heartaches or you know like the troubles that I've gone through or the regrets that I've experienced, it's better for me to write it out and have a journal of like all these past experiences. And the one thing that the journal can really benefit from that is that you could learn from it as well.
Yeah.
It's not like a book like oh you can just put everything that you have thought about and put it inside. And if you don't, it will just bury down even more, and it will make me especially overthink more. That's why I always keep a journal at the ready, just in case for those like emergencies and stuff. Because to be honest, right now my journal is really full of things that I should have done better, quote unquote.
Mm.
Because
Mhm.
the
Then
life experiences
yeah.
that I have, like so it's a good move. It will be a good movie.
Mm.
You
Hey,
could write.
but
You could make
still.
a movie out of it.
I mean, then again, like it works for JM. It's his coping mechanism. My
Mhm.
coping mechanism is playing games, and but my most important way I do it is talking to people. Like it's a case of a stranger because sometimes a stranger won't judge you because he has no idea who or what you are. So yeah,
Mhm.
that's what we do. And again, if you have that same kind of problem, just find your solace. Find something that you can find to keep you busy at. So some
Mhm.
people watch TV, listen to music, play music. It's really up to you. The world is a massive canvas.
Can I ask you something?
Yes.
When you
Sure.
said that when you're going through something and your coping mechanisms was playing games, does playing games
Mm.
really help?
For me, yeah. Because
Mm-hmm.
again, playing video games or any kind of game that's in a way competitive or not by nature, there's always that congratulations whenever you do something. Like oh my god, I got 3 headshots in a row. I got an achievement on Steam. Let's go.
Let's go.
That's
Yeah,
cool.
like it's dopamine. It just feels good. Why do people play games or have fun? It's simple. It's our instinct to search for these things. It literally produces
Mhm.
dopamine.
That's
So
good for
yeah,
you.
what?
That's
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
But I also know someone,
Mm.
probably GM has, you have an idea who I'm about to talk, who am I gonna talk to?
All right.
Okay. He likes playing games, but then he doesn't feel good about it. But he still keeps on playing games because it's already implanted in his mind that playing games helps him act when actually it doesn't. So it's good for you that you already found your purpose when playing games. You already found the
Mhm.
role of playing video games and what it make it and what it does to your life. But I don't know. The person I know is it's just like his being impulsive and his being assertive to some certain things shouldn't even that should not even be like you you don't have to give you don't have to waste your time on it, something like that,
Mm.
Oh, okay.
just
I
because he
mean,
believes that it helps him.
Mm.
oh, okay. So in other words, he thinks it helps him, but it doesn't. Well, again, back to my statement earlier. Not everyone has the same way to cope with something.
True.
Then again, there's a difference between saying it and actually doing it, and it actually doing something for you. Then again, like, okay, it's understandable. Me as a person who play video games, of course, there'll be times where I feel like, oh, come on, dude, really?
Yeah.
That kind of stuff.
It can be a
But it's
stressful
natural. Yeah,
one.
yeah. Like, again. But it's fun. It's still fun to do so. Again, if it's not working for your friend, I'm sorry for him. I suggest you try to look something else. But then
Yes.
again, it's not really the fault of the game. It's not necessarily anyone's
His
fault. It's just
mindset.
he just doesn't have the proper sync with the things he does. Again,
Mm.
it doesn't again. Coping mechanisms don't always apply to all. We're all individuals. Not everyone has the same needs or mindset as everyone else. That's why we are individuals in the first place. So then again, it depends on the person.
Does and
That's
his
what.
mindset is not
Mm.
really that stable. Like he doesn't even realize that him being like playing video games all the time is already becoming toxic. Like it's destroying the relationships he have with other people. He has with other people.
Again, I would state that the problem is not the game itself, but on the person we're talking about. I'm not saying
Yeah.
he's a bad person, but then again, if he's trying, no, people often blame video games or any other form of media just to find a scapegoat. It's quite common.
Mhm.
Then again, I
Mm-hmm.
won't necessarily blame the game. It's more or less the individual because,
Yeah.
again, an object in itself, an inanimate object, something that doesn't even have feelings, shouldn't be blamed for something sentient life has been doing themselves. Again, we made this stuff. We have power over these things. It's not their fault. It's our interaction with them that defies what they're made for. Again. So
Mm.
yeah,
That's
I'm sorry
true.
for your friend. I'm sorry for your
People,
friend, but yeah. I'm sorry for your friend, but yeah,
you
that's
don't have to be
reality.
sorry. You don't have to be sorry for him because he doesn't even feel sorry for himself. So just
Ooh.
come on, let go.
Oh snap!
Shots
This
fired, my
girl
dude.
has spunk. Damn! Someone call the ambulance. Someone's getting third-degree burns up here. I
Yeah.
thought we're having a podcast, not a roast session.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
why that's why it's
Anyways,
like really bad if you just force what you think you love,
yeah,
you know.
Yeah.
some people tend to blame the things they suck at when in fact maybe just maybe they have this victim mentality. That's why,
Mm.
and
Then
they just
again.
can't accept that they suck at some certain things.
Mhm.
Why
I
not?
mean, then
Why not?
again.
Why not go out and find your purpose? I mean, there's a lot of things that you could still do.
I mean, I was trying to say that, but yeah, absolutely. I support what you said earlier. Then again, if you're bad at something, it's fine to be bad at something. We're all bad at something. But then again, yeah, I completely agree what you said there. Go out. I don't care if you're an introvert. Try to explore at least to find out what you can do because you can't solve anything by staying at one spot.
Mm.
That's
Yeah,
true.
I
Oh
would
my
agree to
god.
that. I would agree that like what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I know it's a cliche like saying, but it really does
Yeah.
because you know
Okay.
it's really like if you don't go out into the world and experience the stuff that you should experience, then
Hmm.
how does it make you grow as a person as a whole?
Yeah.
Like
Learn how to
what
feel pain.
And you will never
fun
ever
do you
discover
have
what
in
you're
the world?
capable of.
Hmm. And That's why people, I won't judge, but that's why people like don't tend to grow as much as they could if they didn't really explore or try to experiment on what they could do. And that's why, and I don't recommend like experimenting on bad stuff, but what I'm saying is just
Yeah.
experimenting on things that you could do and try to make it a developmental stage for you, you know.
Hmm. That's true. Because some people are not the risk takers type. They
Mhm.
they let their fear overcome them. I'm also trying to tell my friends sometimes that fear is worse than regret, because regret will take a toll on you for the rest of your life. Whereas
uh,
it's gonna make you think that, oh, I should have done this, I should have done that, I shouldn't
mhm,
have let my anxiety or my fears overcome me. Maybe I could have done better.
mhm. It's true. That's
Again,
why,
what ifs drilled into your head will never help you at all.
and that's why waking up in the morning feeling good, it's a good way to start the day. Never let fear like for you. You could just say like for me, like, oh no, this thing is coming, and I know it's coming, but I usually talk to myself, not in a crazy way, but usually
Mhm.
talk to myself like, hey, this this day will be like a good day, and it won't like hinder what I'm gonna do for today. You know?
Mhm. When someone
It's fine
sees
talking to
something.
yourself, man. It's
Mhm.
fine
Yeah.
talking to yourself.
Yeah, it
I mean,
is.
it's fine. Yeah,
It's a healthy thing
yeah, yeah.
to talk to
If you come up to a
yourself.
mirror, yeah, yeah. If you walk to a mirror and then you talk to yourself, that's completely normal. It's not normal when the reflection talks back.
True. I I do that most of the time. I always look at myself in the mirror and then talk to myself like, "Oh my gosh, you're so stupid. Oh, you did great." Something like that. Something I praise myself sometimes. Sometimes I also talk shit about myself. Like,
Mhm.
why the hell did you do that? You're so stupid. And yeah, you're not crazy if you're doing that. It's a healthy thing to do. And
Mhm.
about what you said earlier about you foreseeing the things that's gonna come, that's a good way if you're gonna anticipate some things it's about to go on your way, because it's gonna help you how to deal with them. There are
Mhm.
a lot of people who are scared of confronting those whatever that comes in their way, I mean.
Mhm.
But for me, I'd rather confront them, because still, why avoid it if you know it's something inevitable, right?
Mhm.
It's still gonna come to you one way or another, no matter how hard you avoid it.
That's why it's like difficult for me sometimes when I overthink and stuff. It's really taking a toll on me, like even spiritually and mentally,
Yeah.
and it like hinders what I do for the day. And that's why like good thing to have is again a journal, and sometimes you could always like talk to God and stuff, and it really helps like uh, if you don't do that, like man, I wish you the best on what you're gonna
Actually,
do. Yeah.
overthinking is not a bad thing. It's not. It becomes a bad thing if you ruminate on those thoughts and you let them control you. If you let those thoughts devour you. Overthinking actually is healthy
Mm,
if you're gonna put it and if you're gonna apply it rather in a healthy
mm,
way, or in a positive way, or in good things.
mm-hmm,
Just don't ruminate especially on negative thoughts. It's because
mm,
they won't do you any good. It's just gonna downgrade. You're just gonna start downgrading yourself at some point, and that's gonna affect
yeah.
your relationship with yourself and also with the people around you.
Yeah, that's why it's like, especially when when it comes to breakups and stuff, especially when it's like
Yeah,
really fresh.
breakups.
I, like for me, like I recently got out of a relationship, and this relationship was, like I said in the previous podcast, was the second relationship, quote unquote. And and from what I've said in the previous podcast, check it out by the way. Uh, it is the relationship that is really toxic. And why toxic? Because actually,
Go
it was
on.
it was like she doesn't communicate. She doesn't say anything that she wants to say.
Mhm.
She just keeps it inside. In my perspective, she keeps the troubles inside of her and not explaining what happened or what really is going on inside her head. And and the things that it comes out from her mouth or from her mind is excuses that really shouldn't be a problem.
Mhm.
And the reason why we broke up was, even though like everything trusts the basic understanding of like how a relationship works was already somehow established. And the reason why she broke up was she said she wasn't ready. And
Oh, that's messed
that
up.
really like, yeah, it's messed up because why did you commit to a relationship and explain why that happened? And it's really messed up. But for
Actually,
me, yeah,
okay, go on, go on, go on.
like that's really messed up. And the things that I did was, it was really unexplainable for me even today. Like, why did why did I do that? Or why did I chose that kind of relationship even though some red flags were already there? And the reason why I went into that relationship was actually because I really liked her. And uh, I wouldn't say like she was bad, but she was nice all the way. But there are some times that the thoughts that is within us really like doesn't want to affect the other person. And that's why trust and communication is the key to every relationship. You
Yeah.
know
Actually, I could really say that we're on the same boat right now.
why
Also,
is that so?
my, me and my partner broke up. Um, I don't know if it's already been 3 weeks. Like,
Tricks.
the wound is still fresh. It's still bleeding. It's nowhere near healing, actually. And yeah, it's true about what he said, that communication is really and should be really the foundation, the core, and the pillars in order to make a relationship work.
Mhm,
Because if there is no communication, there's the relationship doesn't exist also. And that's
mhm,
also what happened between me and my ex. There was a communication breakdown. It all started with a communication breakdown. I was trying to reach out to him, trying to make him understand that I'm here. It's okay for you to tell me your problems. I'm supposed to be your partner, your solace, your place of comfort. I'm not just here sticking with you through the good times, but I'm also willing willing to stick with you through the bad times. But then every time I send him long messages explaining my side, explaining my thoughts, all I receive from him is like that puppy eyes emoji. I don't know if you're familiar with that, but that puppy eyes emoji, and then he'll
Yeah.
just say, "Hi, and sorry." And then how am I supposed to feel every time I receive that kind of reply? I was being all out. I was I was expressing my sentiments, my emotions. My that those emotions are sincere. Those messages are rooted deep within my heart. But then every time you see him reply something like that, it's just gonna hit you like, am I that insignificant? Am I not that trustworthy? Why is he building up walls, building up walls between us? Why is he detaching himself from me? I'm supposed to be his partner, like his his partner in everything.
Yeah.
But then one day we just woke up and then there's no communication at all. I mean, I'm the one reaching out to him, but you could not really call it a communication if it's one-sided, right? For me
Mm.
only. It takes it should be the two parties. The two parties should be involved in terms of communication.
Mm.
You really have to invest your trust on your partner. Not just it's not about it's not only about the investment, but you also have to take the risk, because in the first place you chose that person to be with you. like
Mm.
like it's different minds, perspectives of women, because we all know that even up till now, men men are men are always the ones that who are pursuing who they want, right?
Mm.
So
Yeah.
in my case, he chose me to be his partner. Then suddenly I don't understand why. I also have a lot of whys in my mind. Why did this happen? Why do I deserve this? What did I do? Like,
Mhm.
what what did I do? Why did he why did he chose to stray away from me when all this time he knows that he can come to me. I can come and he can come to me, he can vent it all out. I wanted to hear
Mhm.
everything from him, no matter how ugly the truth is. And then it didn't just end up because of the communication breakdown. He also lied
Mhm.
about about loving me, because he started to realize that he's falling out of love. And I guess we could really never call it love, right? If you're just gonna fall out of it. I mean, I don't know.
Mm.
That's my perspective about that. You can't call it love. You can never call it
Mhm.
love if you find yourself one day falling out from it. And then and then he said that he tried to make it work. He tried to make his feelings come back.
Yeah.
But but at some point he realized that he really wanted to end things with me, but he doesn't know because he still doesn't want to hurt me.
Mm.
So so he broke up with me. He broke up with me um a few months after he realized that it was over for him. And I don't it and it hurts on my side, because all this time I
Of
thought we
course.
were
Yeah.
fine, we were doing okay. I was asking him, how are we as a couple, how are we as a partner, how is this
Mhm.
relationship going for us? All all those times that I asked him, he said it's good, it's fine, when in fact it's not. I trusted him when he said it's fine. But but when we saw each other for the first time after being in an LDR for almost a year,
Yeah.
he suddenly broke up with me. And like, I don't know if you can imagine how dumbfounded I am. We were
Yeah.
we had a good time at first. And then when we're about to go home, he suddenly became emotional, sentimental. Like, he started saying things to me like, I hope you're gonna be happy without me. I hope you're gonna find someone better. You're gonna find
Yeah.
someone You can find someone who can make you happy. And then
Mm.
I was thinking like, oh my God, am I really hearing this? And then I also blamed myself for that day because I asked him if, are you breaking up with me? And then he said yes. And then that's how it all went down the drain. The efforts, the loyalty, the faithfulness. I mean,
Mm.
I waited for him. I waited for him. And I waited for him being faithful, loyal. Because I know that one day we're gonna see each other again. But
Yeah.
it hurts also because of the fact that it did not end up well, or it did not end up as
Like
what I
the way you
expected
wanted
it
to.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it and and like he's being explosive. Like I never imagined that he could say stuffs to me.
Yeah.
Something like that. We were having a good time. I was happy. I was excited to see him after not being able to see him, touch him, hold him for a long time. And the moment we stepped out of that place, he took that happiness with him. I was shattered. I was riding the bus when I was riding the bus when I was going home, and I really felt empty. I felt numb. I felt like he took a big piece of me with him when we parted
Mm.
ways. And then I started to realize things that yes, I also saw a lot of red flags in the relationship, but I wanted to stick with him. I wanted those red flags to go away,
Mm-hmm.
hoping that it would go away one day. Maybe I was just a fool. Pero like I also learned that we both had our fair share of mistakes. And
Mm.
I think it was 2 weeks that I was blaming everything to myself, that I was blaming myself for asking him if he was
Yeah.
really breaking up with me, because I thought if I haven't asked that question, maybe he didn't even break up with me. Something
Mm.
like that. And I also blamed myself for the shortcomings that I have as his girlfriend. But
Mm.
then when I confirmed that he had a thing with his girl classmate since April while he was with me. I
Ouch.
was I I was like it snapped. Something snapped inside of me. Like
Yeah.
what the hell are you doing, Hannah? Like this is not
Yeah.
you. This is not you. You shouldn't beg for someone who doesn't even see your worth. He
Mm.
even had the audacity to he even had the audacity to question me because I told him that conflict, troubles, hardships, or whatever problems that we encounter in a relationship should it be the reason for couples to split up.
Yeah.
Those complications, those conflicts are there. They are meant to strengthen the bond of those two people. He asked me, then if those conflicts are not meant to separate two people, then why did you break up with your first ex? Like the nerves, he was getting into my nerves. Like I answered him because I'm not gonna fight for something. I'm not gonna fight for a love. If I see you, if I see you not meeting me halfway, if you're not gonna meet me halfway, I won't I won't I won't make a fool out of myself chasing you all the way when
Mm.
I'm already seeing you running away from me. Something like that. That's and I also asked him that why did you even lie to me in the first place about the real stuff that's going on?
Mm.
Why did you decide to detach yourself from me? And he said, I don't know. It's because I don't trust my mind. I'm having personal issues. I'm having family issues. Plus, I'm not in my right state of mind. My mind is not stable. I'm having OCD. I'm having a high level anxiety. Something like that. When all this time I was
Mm.
trying to make him understand that it's okay. You can call out to me.
Mm-hmm.
The distance in the time was not the problem. Was never actually the problem. And then another thing that I hated about what he did is that he tried to make it seem like I was the one who's at fault,
Oh
when
no.
in fact he was the one detaching himself to me. I I mean I also cursed myself for doing this, but last week, I think a few days, I
Yeah.
mean after the breakup, I begged. My God, I begged. I can't even believe I begged. I
Oh
begged
no.
him. I begged for him
That's
to
the really like
stay.
no no.
I begged for him to stay because I had this thought in my mind that there's nothing wrong. There's nothing wrong about begging for someone you love. I thought
Mm.
I thought that we could still salvage what's left in our relationship. But then when I knew that he already had this girl, I, I was all hopes were lost also.
Mm.
It's like it's like he had the nerve to tell me that he doesn't care about me at all anymore. He doesn't love me anymore, and he was firm about his decisions because of the fact that there is this girl waiting for him, making him feeling secure that it's okay to leave me because she was there. She was there to catch him.
Yeah.
And I'm here left alone, wondering like how can they even sleep well at night thinking that they fooled someone, thinking that thinking that they they are gonna start their relationship out of cheating. And I also told him that every relationship that started off with cheating
Yeah.
is never gonna last. People never gonna be happy. Right now, maybe they're
Mm.
happy. They're on cloud nine. The excitement is there. The thrill is there. But everything is just in the beginning.
Mm.
Excitement, happiness. There's
It's just the start of
mhm.
the experience. Yeah.
Soon they're gonna realize that the troubles are gonna be there. And if I were them, actually, I'm gonna be ashamed if they decide to publicize their relationship, because almost everyone knows that we were together, and then people are gonna start questioning what happened. Oh my God, what happened? I thought
Yeah.
you guys were good. You guys were
Yeah.
okay. And I'm like, I thought so too. I thought so too. I thought
You
you
know,
were okay too.
yeah. I
Mm,
But
really don't like
actually, it's not.
don't like that
I
kind of yeah. Don't like those kind of like relationships like, oh, we need to publicize this, we need to publicize that. Like, oh no, I have a girlfriend and
oh
stuff.
boy.
Like, no.
I mean, like
Every TikToker ever.
in their case, in their case, for me, they're not they're not gonna be able to keep it forever as a secret. Eventually, they're
Yeah.
gonna come out of the shadows, and everyone's gonna start asking what happened to us. And I frankly told him that if ever someone asked me what happened to us, I'm not gonna fabricate stories just just to protect you. Okay, I'm done protecting you.
Mhm.
I'm gonna tell them what happened. You cheated on me. You had this girl even you're still with me.
Yeah.
I asked him, you know what I asked him days after the breakup, is there a new girl? He said no. He was he was
Well,
gonna I think he was gonna deny it all the way. Maybe until now, if someone did not tell me and I started spamming him on Gmail, on his account in Gmail, like why did your crush, quote crush, block me? Because I couldn't find her Facebook, but
mhm.
then my friends can. Why did she block me? Why did she like all the whys? And then he told me that she was insecure. She was insecure about me. Like, okay, that's a good thing, I
Oof.
guess.
Oof.
That's that's gonna feed my ego. At least I know that his new girl is insecure, and
That's an oof
she's gonna
moment.
be insecure. She's gonna be insecure forever.
Like
Like their
to
relationship is not gonna be. It's not. gonna last long. It's not
Mhm.
gonna be that happy. Karma is just
Will
around the
never be.
corner.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
karma is just
Yeah.
Never
around the
be.
corner. What comes around goes around. Something like that.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm just
Like
waiting for the time that it's gonna come to them. I'm just gonna laugh. Okay, you guys deserve it.
oof,
You guys
oof,
deserve it.
oof.
At least I can sleep well at night knowing that I I didn't I did not deceive anyone.
Mhm. Well, okay. Regarding that story, I'm pretty sure you're not the only one who has experienced a similar story to this. But I'll add something I said yesterday. I said yesterday on the previous episode. I said that human beings as a whole are illogical beings in the first place. Again, yes, we are capable of logic, but if we were logical beings, not just being capable of logic, we wouldn't be in the stuff we're at right now. But here's the thing: we tend to choose the illogical choice. Why? Because it feels good. Why? Because we think it's the quote unquote better option. Like again, from the story you given me, that guy screwed up majorly and
Major. Yeah.
proves my
He did.
argument. Yeah, and proves my argument. Here's the thing: no one here is truly logical. We're only capable
Mhm.
of logic. And then again, like from my topic, correlating to yours, I see that you're trying to make things make sense to you. That's quite common in human nature.
Human.
We try to make sense of things that are out of our control or something that happened in the past. Again, there's nothing wrong with doing this, but then again, it leads to assumptions that may or may not be true. And it's a good thing that you're able to find out what really happened. Like only a few people in the world can find out what's really wrong with those kind of relationships.
Yeah. That,
Like
that
no
would.
cap,
It,
no cap, no cap.
it took a lot of effort for me to
Yeah.
make him admit everything because
Mhm.
actually I was having my instincts already, and I don't know if this is a curse or a blessing because my intuition were always right starting from my first act. Like
uh,
this, when an instinct kicks in, it's starting to make me feel anxious. It's starting to make me feel
mhm,
scared. But then at the end of the day, it's just that, oh my god, the instincts. It's true. It's not just an
mhm.
instinct, but it's the truth and nothing but the truth. And truth hurts actually I confirmed it yesterday, and while I was on my way meeting him, I was getting goosebumps, I was getting nervous, I had knots in my stomach,
Oh, s-
and
so
then i
he's
was
here right
i
now.
was sweating. Yeah, he's here.
Oh no.
Diba? It's messed up. And then I was gonna meet him for the second time to clear things up, to get
No.
that closure so that I could have my peace of mind.
Yeah.
So as I was on my way, I was sweating like crazy, even though I was in a car. And then I was just thinking, I was telling myself that, Han, whatever he's gonna say later, just accept it the way it is. You wanted to know the truth, and he swore he's gonna tell you the truth, no matter how brutal it may be. The truth will hurt you, but it's also gonna set you free. So that, so when he already admitted everything, yeah, it hurts a lot. But then I also stopped thinking about those what ifs. No more what ifs. I mean, I already know the major reason for the breakup,
Mhm.
and it's gonna help me move on because yeah, that's it. The truth, it set me free. And all this time I was asking him to be honest, to be transparent, and I don't know why it was hard for him to do that. He even had the nerve to ask me if something happened while he was away, when on the other hand he was the one fooling around when he was away. I don't
Wow.
really get why
He asked
people.
you.
Yeah, he asked me. He had the nerve to ask me that. like like he said, tell me, Han, did something happen while I was away? I said, no, I waited for you the entire time. I was loyal, I was faithful. I also had my choice to screw up things if I wanted to. I could date or I could meet up other guys here just to feel just to feel the gaps of your absence, just to comfort my just to comfort myself temporarily. But then I did not. And then at the end I found out that he was the one not fooling around, not me.
Yeah, because you know, LDR, it's really a challenging type of relationship, to be honest, in my opinion. And
It is.
and LDR is like a relationship that you don't really see in the next page. You only see the front of the page, you know? And we as humans, I think that we always need like this touch, this constant connection of contact.
Yeah,
And really,
it's we're literally social animals. It's literally part of our instinct, dude. Absolutely.
Yeah.
like LDR, it really like hinders us to be humans.
Complicates things.
Yeah,
Yes.
it complicates. That's why insecurities and anxieties really develop in the long run, because this part of being human as for relationships doesn't meet that criteria. So that's why it's like it's understandable to be insecure, but yeah, there's this thing called trust that we need to
Mm-hmm.
understand. And in order for that to trust to be developed, it should be developed way earlier in the relationship.
Yeah.
Actually, also, I assured him many times that that LDR is not a problem for me. I assured him. Pero it's his mind talking already. That he said I was faking everything. Like I was telling him it's okay, but when in
He
fact
was
for me
making.
it
Wait. Wait.
wasn't.
Wait. 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 He was making stuff up.
Yes, he was. I mean, probably he was because he wanted to break up with me and to,
Uh,
go to that girl because he wouldn't have the courage to break up with me if he didn't have that if he didn't have that other person that I don't
oh.
want to say it, that B.
Uh-huh.
Well, let's just say it's impossible to debate or argue against an idiot.
Mhm,
Mm.
that's true.
Because here's
You're just
like
gonna
if you
lose.
lack if you lack correlative discourse, boy, you aren't going anywhere. They like
Yeah.
logic will not work against these people because they will try again. They will use the same of thinking you did that you underwent earlier. You try to look for solutions on things you cannot control, and that's exactly what he was also doing as well. He makes up stuff because it makes sense to him. That why like
He's justifying his mistakes, and
yeah,
that's
exactly. Yeah. He's trying to make things seem right in his point of view, like, which is sad. Like, really, that guy needs to talk to someone.
he needs to talk to
Like
someone.
the
He
great
actually
Ross said, you need a therapist, my dude."
Who- yeah, he's the one. He also told me that he needs to see a therapist. He also admitted that stuff because he knows that his brain is not normal. You see, it's his actually starting to realize it's his loss because I already know it at first that he was not stable. He had mind issues, but I was still willing. Honestly, I was still willing to go through everything with
Yeah,
him, no
yeah,
matter
but
how
still,
painful. He
yeah,
lost
but
the
still,
kefir, they said.
oof. But let's just say that still doesn't justify the stuff he's done. Like what the stuff he
Yeah.
does is still wrong. Like again,
Mhm.
even like again, you can sympathize with someone, but that doesn't justify their actions. You can sympathize with a man who killed a man out of revenge, but you cannot justify that man's actions. For said action itself is wrong, and that's
I
the
also
problem. Yeah, and that's the problem with people rely too much on what we feel like instead of actually doing what is actually right,
Yeah.
regardless of how we feel.
I'm not I'm not gonna judge him actually because
Yeah.
even until now I'm trying to understand his side. but
Yeah.
not that much anymore
And
because I also need to take care of
yeah.
myself first.
Yeah. Yeah.
But for me, cheating will never be justifiable because
Exactly.
cheating is a choice. It's a choice.
Exactly.
You could have been confrontational with me if you could have told me, Han, I don't want this anymore. But he did not because of the fear that he might hurt me. I asked him, no matter how happy the breakup will be, it will still hurt. And
Mm.
the
It's
fact that
literally what
you,
breakups are meant to do.
yeah, and the fact that you decided to keep this going for months, it only made it
Yeah.
worse
Made it
because
worse,
Yeah.
yeah.
you made me kept those false hopes that
Mm.
everything's gonna be okay once we see each other.
To be all honest, it's really, really good to explain everything to your significant other or anything that bothers you, because once it bothers you, it will never go away. It
Yeah.
will linger in your thoughts,
Yeah.
like it
Like it
will
would.
ruin your like sanity, basically.
Yeah. Like
Uh,
yeah, it will still haunt you, but again with depending intensities and how intense that emotion would attack you at the end of the day. So I completely agree with JM. That thing's gonna stick with you regardless, and ain't
Yeah.
going away.
And the temptations around are like, that's that's why there's like,
temptations are not sins. They're not temptations will only become a mistake if you act upon it.
yeah,
Yeah.
Temptations are everywhere. It's just around the
Mhm.
corner also. It's
yeah.
actually it's in every corner. So
Mhm.
it's up to you if you're gonna bite it.
But
That's
then
why
again, there are
self-control.
instigators who make themselves tempting on purpose. But yeah, I completely agree. I know what you said. You know, if you took something you know you're going to regret and you took it anyways, well, prepare to face the consequences.
Yeah,
Maybe
every
they're not
action has
thinking
a
about the
consequence.
consequences. Maybe
No
they're
one
thinking
does.
about them now.
Yeah, no
That
one does when they make
sucks.
those decisions. No one does.
Impulsiveness.
Hmm.
Like I wouldn't say it's like it was like a bad relationship, but from what I've like seen or heard is really like, I think it's the guy's fault. Not to shoot, but in how you said it is, I think it's the guy's fault because it,
Mostly. I also
first
agree with you.
he didn't like share what he was thinking. Second, he overthinked, and really that really caused the problem to really grow. And
Hmm.
that's why going for other people that you're already in a relationship is just really wrong. It is really not okay. To
You
be
know
all
what's
honest,
sad? You know what's sad? All this
yeah,
time when we were having bad days, he tells me that, Beb, trust the process. I'm gonna be there in few days' time. And then what the hell? Okay, I trusted the process. I waited, and then it's. I did not expect it's gonna end up in a breakup. I trusted the process, but I did not know. I did not have any idea that that process is meant to be is meant to to prep me for the
mm,
breakup. I think we're gonna fix things.
yeah,
I think we're gonna fix everything. And then, you know, another thing that I don't like is that he tells me that his mind is already fixed about leaving me, about ending things with me. When in fact, well, I mean, for me, it
yeah,
doesn't mean that when your mind is fixed or when something is fixed, it will never be broken. Not,
mm,
especially when it comes
like
down
the
to
consequence.
feelings and thoughts. Those are just permanent. They're just I mean those are not permanent, rather. They're not permanent. They're meant to change over time.
Over
What
time,
you're
yeah,
feeling right now is meant to evolve. So I'm that's it. I'm just waiting for him to regret everything, to regret his decisions.
like the state he is in now. Like, man, I don't see it
I
like
mean,
he
it's
will
gonna be
regret.
impossible right now because he's on cloud nine with a girl. But but let's just wait when things are gonna get rough for them. Let's see how it's
But
gonna how it's gonna affect them.
how did it? But how could you change it though? Like,
What do you
what were the
mean?
things? Yeah, like what were the things that you could have changed in order to like keep the relationship? Like mistakes that you saw, and you make it like a better one. You know?
I don't really I don't know because I think what I'm about to say is gonna make me sound like I'm selfish or what. But I don't really think that I had made a major mistake that I need to change in order to save this relationship. Because in the first place, I asked him what's the problem with
Yeah.
me, what's his problem with me. He he said like I always clamor. I always ask for his time when he's busy. He
Mhm.
cannot play his games because I'll end up being down or
Mhm.
mad at him for not being able to talk to me because he keeps on playing something like that. And then I always try not, I mean, not always, but there are times that I don't want to talk to him because I'm
Yeah.
offended with his actions. But
It's a normal
other
relationship from that
other than
point. You know?
that, I think it's a normal response for me naman to
Mm.
feel offended, to feel disappointed, frustrated or upset for his actions because in the first place it is really offensive. Like I'm here, we're video calling, but he keeps on playing and I'm
He
telling
doesn't
him
even look at
stuff.
you. Yeah.
He doesn't even look at me, and I keep
Mm.
telling him stories. I keep telling him stuff, and he's like, "I was what was that again?" So how do you think would that make me feel? Like he's
Yeah.
not. I'm there, but you're not even paying attention to me. Like my friends even told me that it's normal for me to ask his time, to ask him for his little bit of time because
Mm.
we are we are in an LDR relationship. We don't
Yeah.
see each other anymore, and the fact that we can only spend time together is through virtually, and then
Mhm.
he is depriving me of that kind of quality time.
Mhm.
I'm not a materialistic person. I never asked him to give me any stuff that he gave me.
Yeah.
All I wanted was effort and time. That's it. I wasn't after for anything
Realistically.
tangible.
Yeah.
I was just, I don't know. Hey. Like
In all honesty,
I also
relationships are there.
have I also have this question
Yeah.
in my mind that
Was it?
why mm, those people who are genuine, sincere, and who have those purest intentions are
Yeah.
the ones who always ends up being fooled, being
Mm.
deceived. Like maybe that's just life, I guess. It's unfair and it's meant to be unfair. But it sucks. It sucks really. It makes you question your self-worth. Like what's wrong with me? Am I not enough? Something like that. I'm getting emotional.
Yeah. No, it's actually like, yeah, I see your point. Like all the good people, you know, those who are genuine and stuff, gets like ridiculed or gets,
Ends up getting hurt.
yeah, ends up getting hurt. Because from what I see from that point of perspective is people who like danger, basically human beings, really like the thrill of like danger or the thrill of excitement is really for them it's good. And for genuine people, good don't really think about that. They don't see the thrill of being in danger is a sign of positivity. That's like a sign of like negative stuff. And that's why people, I think, they poke at the person who's really good and see what happens. And
Mm.
that's what I really see about that. It's because they like it and they want to do more of the bad because they feel that they're in control. They're
It
like,
strokes their
oh
ego.
yeah, their strokes it
It
strokes their
feeds their
ego. Yeah,
ego.
that's why it's
And
really
I,
dangerous to be a
yeah, you don't play with
good person.
fire.
Like every like being like totally good is really good, but sometimes you should be also a bad person sometimes.
Mhm. We should always be realistic because
Yeah.
not everything is good. One way or
Mhm.
another, bad things will appear.
Always try to ground yourself in a way that, hey, this situation is really getting worse. We need to talk about it, and we need to stay on the right position because
That's what he failed
if
to
we don't,
do.
yeah, that's why it's really important to be grounded and really talk about it. Like for this guy, it's like, man, from what I'm
I
hearing
don't
from you, like
I don't
I don't pity him. He's like really a bad person
is
now.
he's not meant to be pitied actually.
Mm. Is really not a good relationship in
It
all like the books. It's not a good relationship not to talk about it because if the more that you keep secrets, again, it will linger around and it will make the problem bigger. That's why
Mhm.
it's good to share, even if it's like in a journal or even if it's like praying to God or playing games. But playing games in his world is not a good thing. But that's why he should like really find something that is good in order to realize that what he did was bad.
it all comes down to maturity also. He's not that matured
Might
enough
as
to
well. Mm.
and and he's not emotionally stable. Like, man, if don't get a girlfriend if you're not done playing. If you're not done playing your games. Commitment
Like,
is not a joke. Oh my you're gonna be with someone and that someone is not is not emotionless. Like me, I feel
mm,
emotion. I'm not a rock. I'm not a plant. Okay?
mm,
I feel hurt, I feel sad, I feel anger and everything. But then I don't know. Maybe maybe he did not even consider the fact that I'm human. Because if
mm.
he did, he wouldn't do those stuff. He would have been real.
Like to be honest, in a, and why I got the relationship was actually I wanted to give love.
Me too. Nothing
I
more,
wanted,
nothing less.
yeah, nothing more, nothing
Okay.
less. Like giving love is the like important part of the relationship, and that's why we love love. Why we give love,
Yeah.
right?
But here's the thing. It's kind of weird that we try to set up goals for love. Like, yeah, okay, I admit, even though I have one girlfriend, it's kind of strange that we all have this ideal perception of how we like to have our loved ones be in the future.
Yeah,
Because, because again, no, the world doesn't follow on a step-by-step basis. Humans aren't logical beings. Again, to state again. So, again, we should get used to being disappointed because at the end of the day, you'd be surprised on how stupid people can be. So sometimes
Yeah.
you have to accept the fact that people will and have done stupid things. Best thing we can have to do in order to overcome that is either carry a lot of thick skin and try to understand the individual,
hmm
or if it's too much, condone the person on the actions they have done and make sure they take responsibility.
mm. That's
Because
why.
again, a lot of people
Yeah,
are afraid of responsibility. We hate the idea of being a deciding factor of someone's well-being, and it's scary for people, more whether they want to admit it or not. So yeah, just get used to it. It's nothing you can really do.
True. I'm getting used to it actually. I told him I'm used to it because I already experienced the same thing with my
Yeah.
ex before. But then he just like what he said, I'm faking it. That statement that statement shattered me also.
Well, in all honesty, like after, after breakups and stuff, it's like it's okay to be alone.
Yeah,
Alone in a sense that okay, that person
I
was not like the one for me, cliche as it sounds, but there. That's why I've always said like after, even after my relationship, like there would be always a person better than her, or that person will there will be a right guy for him because at the moment what they think they want is actually what they could have. You get what I mean?
yeah, not everything that we want we could get it.
Hmm. That's why it's really good for people to poke around certain aspects of their life and see what they're good at. Really start the foundation of how you're gonna pursue life. Even if it's like breakups and relationships. For me, it's like a relationship is there, yes. What's important is what you do is a good thing, and what you believe in is a good thing that benefits people too. You know.
I'm also telling myself actually, and also for you, I want you to know this that when if ever we get into a relationship again, I'm gonna stop myself expecting from
Hmm.
expecting my partner to be like this, to be like that.
Hmm.
I'm not gonna expect anything at all. I mean, I'm not gonna be certain about that because expectations are natural for us.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna remind myself that expectations are doorways to disappointment. So
Mhm.
if you don't want to get disappointed, don't expect too much. It's okay to have your hope. It's okay to hope, but
Yeah.
just don't let yourself be consumed with that hope.
Hmm.
Give a little bit of doubt. Doubt is good also.
Yeah. But then again, relationships are like a hit and miss. You get good relationships, you get bad relationships. Even if it's like a toxic one, it's okay. Just say it will be over. You have to move on from that. Even though you have this like regret, oh, I still love her, or you know, or
Oh.
what did I what what did I do to deserve this? And
Uh,
you must be able to move on from that, even though you see
mhm.
them every day, you see them what they're doing,
I
even
don't
if
even
it's
want to
like
see them.
that's why I challenge myself sometimes, like, oh, I see her every day, I see her posts and stuff, and like, okay, you have to accept that this reality is true, and you could never stray away from that because it's some far-flung future you would see them again, and those thoughts that you didn't accept from the past will again return back to you and really like contradict on what you would do in life. And that's why it's
Yeah.
better to accept now than regret later.
Actually, what
Yeah.
you said is really true because no matter how hard we avoid those kind of people, one day, if it's God's will, our paths will cross again. And in my case, if that happens, I just wish that I'm okay, that I don't feel anything at all, that if ever I see him one day on the street or wherever, I'm gonna have the courage to say hello or to smile
Yeah.
without being feeling bitter or tough.
Yeah.
Yeah. Grudges take you nowhere. Amen.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Like
Amen.
it's never good
Yeah.
to grudge. It's never good to grudge.
Yeah.
Even when with
Like
my
especially
first
if it's friends or
relationship.
family, it will never go anywhere.
Hmm.
Like yeah,
Yeah.
if you try to avoid these people just because they quote unquote make you feel toxic, you're just running away from the problem. You're not fixing it.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's why I'm so shocked seeing that people of our generation are actually encouraging to to uh to leave their friends or families that quote unquote offended them.
Yeah.
And like again, like these stuff that they probably think is abusive wasn't probably abusive to begin with, and they are
Mhm.
advocating for people to leave their families or to ignore people who are probably vital to them. It's so sad to see how petty we as a people have become, right? Like again, we've seen it everywhere, right?
It's a shame,
Yeah,
actually.
yeah.
It's a sad
And
reality
we
that
and yeah, and we forgot how to talk to people. Like yeah, okay, I know it's hard, but the good things never come the easy way. So at least try to do it, because if you're gonna keep ignoring the problem, it's never gonna get fixed.
Mhm.
That's so true. I also want to add up that it's a shame. It's messed up for someone to leave their partners just because of the problems they're facing, and to go to someone else whom they think is easier, who they think is gonna give them much they're gonna give them an easier life rather than to stick with their partners and to go through everything, to fix everything, and to go on. It's a shame. I really despise those kind of people actually. That they're just
Yeah,
gonna avoid the problem and seek refuge to other people for temporary happiness.
yeah, and think that they're the victim. Oof.
Oh,
Oh no.
you need help if that's the case. That's
Like
victim
Yeah,
mentality.
like
yeah,
come on, accept what you already done and just end it. Never like go to a victim mentality and say, "Oh, you're the one," and start blaming each other. No, But that's why it's like really important to have like closure and stuff, and to think that the victim and even though that they did literally nothing, it's just wrong, and that's why you should face the lion. Never fall out from what you did, because what you did is already permanent. It can never be undone.
Yeah, it
That's why
cuts
it's like
deep.
it's, it's
be
a simple
careful what you
story.
break,
Yeah,
It's gonna
because you may
scar me
never
for
fix them
life.
again. Yeah,
mhm,
because you may never fix it ever again.
yeah. That's why once you're. That's why in my mentality is what you have done never be undone, but you have to pursue it and try to fix it along the way. Yeah, it's hard and it's a challenge, but you know there will be ways that it can be easier.
Can't also deny the
Yeah.
fact that there are people who are cowards. They
Mm,
don't recognize their mistakes. They run away from their responsibilities.
mm. People being afraid, it's just like it's just there's something lacking in them that they
Why
need to
don't they
find
try at
what's
least?
there.
At
Yeah,
least try. There's no harm in
muster
trying.
courage.
There's always a room to grow. You're not
Like
stuck being like that
mhm.
forever. Like I said, nothing is permanent.
I think Iman would agree to this. Like it doesn't hurt to feed yourself a little bit just to see what it
Yeah.
what it does.
Again, learn what you made wrong, accept what you've done wrong, accept that you cannot change it, and deal with the consequences. Because if you keep running from the consequences, the you just only prolong the problem. You haven't ended it.
Oh
It's
man.
like we can't do anything. We can't do anything for those people. We can't help people who doesn't want our help, and
Mhm.
those people who doesn't even want to help themselves. So
Yeah.
let's just pray for them. Good luck.
But then again, don't help others if you can't help yourself because you'll just make things worse for everybody involved. So yeah, I completely agree with what Hannah said. Learn to help yourself, make yourself strong, so that
Yeah.
way when someone needs it, you'd be a good foundation for this person.
Mm. Yeah.
I
It's
agree.
really
I
like
totally
really
agree.
good. Really good idea there. Build yourself from the bottom up. Because the experiences that you have can be a lesson to another. You know, that's why I made this podcast from what people did and just and try to avoid those mistakes. It's really it's really a good idea, but who knows how this podcast will work. But the relationships in life is really an up and down battle. You know,
Yeah.
there's nothing
Sh-
much to say about that.
Relationships are also like success, your pathways to success in life. They are never linear. There will always be downhills and uphills, and it's up to you. It's up on your perspective and your mindset on how you're gonna deal with those stuff.
Yeah, and that's why like religion is a good thing too because if you're a religious person, it's a good thing to talk about that to God and
Hmm.
stuff.
To seek refuge to God.
Mm,
Just uplift everything to Him. Everything will go as planned.
mm.
If it's in His will, it's gonna happen.
And if you're not a religious person, I think it like sharing to people on how you feel, like trusted friends, all
Yeah,
that.
it helps.
It helps.
sharing
Like,
sharing sharing not only the good stuff but also the bad stuff
mm,
is not a bad thing. It's a healthy way of expressing yourself, venting out your frustrations. So in that way you won't crumble down on your own. At least you have some people to back you up and to lift you up
uh,
whenever you're down.
the one thing I think Jordan Peterson said this like never share it to person that you really don't know, even if it's your friend that you trust. If you really don't know that person and you share what you've said, it could really backlash to you. That's why
That's true
choose
also.
choose the
Choose
right
your friends
person to
wisely.
yeah, choose the friends that you really know and you could share it with them. Like tread on the path that good and carefully.
Actually, for me it also goes two ways. It's not entirely your fault if someone backstabbed you.
Mm,
Maybe they also have a problem on with themselves. That's why that's why they're poking on other people's problems instead of fixing their own.
mm. I think we
I know a lot
discussed
of
that in
people.
a previous podcast, right, Eman? Eman.
Yeah, I really want to say no, but yeah, that's reality. Again, don't think human beings are logical beings. We are capable of logic, but but we tend to do illogical things.
I think that's the go-to word for go-to quote for the episode.
I think
Yeah,
so too.
yeah.
Iman could be a
Mm,
philosopher, you know. He knows a lot of stuff.
Look, I'll tell you this. I don't know a lot of things. I just know things that I know that feels right. I'm no philosopher. I'm just an average guy trying to make sense of the world.
Don't we all try to make sense of everything that's happening?
Yeah. Like again,
Don't
remember what
we
I said earlier?
all?
Yeah, yeah. Like what I said earlier.
but how are you coping up with right now?
Me?
Yeah, with the current relationship or the current
Actually,
situation. How you've been
actually,
doing?
it's not good. I'm gonna be honest. I might sound okay right now, but a little bit afterwards, I'm I'm gonna have a mental breakdown again. That's it for the past 2 weeks, 3 weeks. I've been feeling
Mm-hmm.
okay, and then suddenly I'll crash down again, and then I'm gonna pick up the pieces, and
Mm-hmm.
then one day, and then I'm gonna see something, or I'm gonna read something that's gonna remind me of what happened,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna go back to zero again. But at least I know I'm trying, and right now,
Yeah.
just like what I said, it's also a blessing that I found out the truth, because it did set me free. At least I don't have to think about those what
It,
ifs anymore. I know
yeah.
the
It made
reason,
it much
and
lighter.
all I have to do now is to try to accept it. It's a bitter pill to swallow, but I have no
Yeah.
choice but to swallow it. Embrace the pain, the grief,
Mm-hmm.
the grief, the hurt, the misery, and everything. And then we also have this thing called stages of grief.
Yeah.
Acceptance comes last. So as I walk through the process, I'm just trying to acknowledge everything. Whenever
Yeah.
I feel hurt or I feel like my chest is aching, I'm gonna talk to myself. Oh, you're here again. Hi. Okay, welcome. And then a little bit afterwards, it will go away. And then I'm gonna feel better. As long as I'm not stuck in my bed all day, because
Yeah.
that's not really helping me. I try to unwind outside sometimes whenever I
Mm-hmm.
can, just to
Trying
cope
to,
up.
mhm. It's a really good way to like do something that's really productive rather than
Yeah,
not doing anything at all.
because if you're just gonna be stuck in your bed, you're gonna start missing him. Yeah, I admit there are times that I still miss him. I long for him because
You
yeah, we've
have
been in
that
an
sometimes.
LDR.
Not gonna
It's
lie.
true. It's
It's
true.
really hard.
It's hard, especially
It's a
if you
challenge.
haven't accepted it fully.
Yeah.
Regardless of what he did, you're just gonna tell yourself you're so stupid for still missing him. But what can I do? It's what I'm feeling. And
Yeah.
I'm acknowledging it. I'm not denying it. Because the more I deny it, the more it comes back to
Will
me
linger. Yeah.
tenfolds. And it's gonna be hard for me to let go. So I'm
Yeah.
just accepting everything that's coming my way. Because I
Mm-hmm.
know this will pass. The storms will pass. There's always a rainbow after
Mm-hmm.
the rain.
Mm. Like, well,
And
Light,
like I
light at the
said,
end of the
trust the
tunnel, all
process.
that jazz. Yeah.
Just
But
trust the
still, truer
process.
words. True words. Truer words. Amen.
Amen.
like, w- how did you get like how do you motivate that? Like the things
Mm,
that you keep on doing. Like, when especially when you have nothing to do, there are days that there is, and how do you keep yourself from like overthinking it and stuff?
like, how do I keep myself from
Yeah.
overthinking and
Overthinking.
just motivate myself?
Yeah. How
I
do you keep
mean,
motivated?
actually, during this pandemic, it's really hard to find motivation to do stuff because
Yeah.
the negativities kicks in. Everything bad is happening. Like, we're expecting the lockdown to end on tomorrow, and then it's gonna be extended again, something like that. But what keeps me motivated to go on is that I still want to see myself in a position someday that I'm proud of, that I can say to myself, or I can tell everyone that I made it. And I really want to prove everyone that despite of the adversities that I faced in my life, I still overcame them. And I also have my goals to keep me motivated. Just like you earlier, you said psychologist. That really sounded nice
Mhm.
to be able to be called psychologist someday. And that's what keeps me motivated to do the things that I want, regardless of how tough my situation is right now. It's hard. It's really hard because the fact that he was also one of the biggest factors in your motivations. And then suddenly he disappeared. And then like you feel like you're gonna start from scratch again.
Yeah.
But I'm starting to realize that he's only a part of it. He's not the whole
Is it-
of it. Just a
yeah.
part of it.
Bigger picture. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You have you have to think outside the box sometimes, and like I don't wanna consider him as my world anymore. Something like that.
Mm.
Just as much as I used to when we were in a relationship. Because like they said, I read it somewhere, like
Yeah.
some people in your life they come and go. They could they could
They
be a
actually.
blessing or a
Yeah.
lesson, and they will never be your world because they are only a speck of dust in your world. So don't
There are
treat them
lots of
like
people. Yeah.
don't treat them like you're that like they are your world, because the moment they will leave you, you're gonna feel, you're gonna crash. You're
You
gonna
feel
feel
empty.
unworthy,
Yeah, never trust
insignificant.
someone. Never trust someone too close, because again,
Mm-hmm.
betrayal is the worst kind of wound anyone can inflict, because it never comes from your enemy.
Mm.
It comes from your loved ones or your close friends. That's true. And
Yeah,
nothing is worst.
yeah,
It's nothing is
yeah,
worst.
Yeah.
yeah,
That's why I did that mistake too. Like uh how do you say this? Putting everything onto her, you know.
Yeah, me too.
And that's what I remember my mom actually said that, like, oh, you shouldn't put everything on her, you know. You should put some to yourself too, because it's important. And that's what I realized, that, like what you said, everything should not be on her and your relationship. Life is based on the foundations that you build way back, and she's just a pillar. Even
Mm-hmm.
if she's out, you still have these past foundations that you had built up over the years. And and you will never be feeling left out or feeling like unmotivated, because you already established those goals, and you could you could have a faster recovery rather than putting everything on her. Once she leaves out the door and you built that kind of foundation, you'll be devastated, and
Yeah,
you'll have a hard time of recovering.
you'll you'll collapse.
Yeah, you'll
You'll
collapse.
collapse.
And that's the one thing that I really learned. Like, never
I all.
push more than
Mm-hmm.
50% of the relationship, even if it's 50%. Like,
It should be
never.
50-50. Actually. It takes two to tango.
Mm,
There
but
should be
yeah.
a fair
Like,
share in
yeah.
everything.
One
but
one man one man or woman shouldn't carry the relationship. A point of a
Mm-hmm.
relationship is to make sure both sides benefit from you two interacting with each other. If you
mhm,
two don't enrich each other within this relationship, then something is wrong.
mhm,
I also
Like
realize.
common observation.
Mm-hmm. I also realize a lot of stuff lately about me begging him, begging him to stay, and he was like pushing me away already. It's like,
uh,
Han, stop yourself from
no,
doing that, because you're pouring everything you have
you're
to
pouring gas onto
him, when in
yourself.
fact his already a broken bottomless cup. So
Uh,
if you're gonna pour out everything to him, you'll be left with nothing. You're gonna
mm,
be left with nothing. I mean, actually, I was already left with nothing because I made him everything. I
yeah,
made him my ground zero, my foundation. And when he
which is
left,
never good.
I collapsed. and I would never ever want to experience that same kind of hurt in this lifetime anymore.
Uh,
That's why I'm gonna be precocious and careful for my next relationships. I don't care if the guy would find it hard, would be challenged. Prove your worth. That's it. I'm done. I'm done with the pain.
and one thing that I realized is that like the reason why I never really commit to like more than 50% is because look, we're we're still in college, more or less graduating,
Mm-hmm.
and there's still more to come rather than focusing on a relationship that you're in still in college. And that's why I think what I learned from my family and like from the source of my friends and is that if you're in college, never commit to a relationship that is more than yourself.
Mm-hmm. You should
Always,
always put your priorities first.
yeah, always put your college stuff first and let everything fall out. Let everything like fall into place and your goals, put that first. The relationship will just come.
Yeah, in its perfect time, in God's perfect time. God has a lot in stored for us. And once it's his time, once he gives it to us, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be
Mm.
flawless because God, as busy as we are, God is also working on us, on our story. We never know what's in store for us, what the future
Mm.
holds.
But
Yeah,
We
yeah,
just have to embrace everything that comes on our way. That's it.
exactly. I mean, again, no brainer, but people tend to ignore common sayings, saying that it never quote unquote works. So
Yeah,
yeah,
cliches.
that they are just cliches, they're meaningless, and
yeah,
they
Yeah,
don't
it's
just
overused,
try
man.
to try try to sink in, try to think about it.
yeah. If it's a
Once a
cliche,
problem
yeah, yeah.
once
Like
a
if
problem
it's a
comes to you,
cliche,
don't judge.
yeah, yeah. Like there's a reason why cliches exist. Maybe I don't know, maybe because it works.
Mm-hmm,
It does work,
true.
man. It does
It
work.
works all the time, no matter how you deny it. I
But
mean, not for
yeah,
everyone, maybe, but it still works.
that's why like focus on your goals first,
Mm-hmm.
even if it's like hard and stuff, and like you want this distraction. Uh, Focus on your goals and try to live that goal, and you won't know that the person that you will end up with is already part of that goal. Like it's already how do you say this? Fell into place, you know?
Yeah.
And even if it's like if that person comes back throughout your life to be friends, I would say it happens m- more or less often that you're gonna see that person even if it's like in a school reunion or friends getting together. It's important to have a ex that is a friend and just you know and that's why we I think I struggle with that because grudges is a really big hurdle in our part. Get what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Mm-hmm. There's also life brings us a lot of lessons, and for me also, this relationship has brought me lessons like never ever lower your pride to someone just for the sake that they will accept you. And also do not devalue yourself just because of your shortcomings. Everyone has their own shortcomings. We are flawed humans. And we should also stop chasing the wrong people and forcing some things that shouldn't be forced in the first place. And most especially, never ever lose yourself while in the process of trying to save someone. Save yourself first before trying to lend a hand because
Because if you're gonna lend a hand to someone when you know to yourself that you're not ready, you're both gonna you're both gonna drown. You're just gonna harm yourself. Not only yourself, but also the person you're trying to save.
But thinking about it, like all my previous exes, like there's only two, but
There's only two.
there's only two, no more.
Me
But
too.
but what they ask even after the relationship is that, oh, can we be friends? All that jazz.
I
Like,
asked
yeah,
him that. Oh my god. I feel
like it,
stupid asking him that. I don't even want to be friends with him anymore. Oh my
like
gosh.
like for me, it's like okay to be friends. You know, we were young. We didn't know what we were doing at that moment in time, and it happens. That's just life. Cliche again, but it's true.
Mm-hmm.
That's just life. We have to accept the fact that the relationship had happened, and we
Yeah.
need to we need to get over that, and and not holding grudges is an important way of like building your self-confidence, your basically your reputation in life.
Just like what Eman said, you cannot undone something that's
That is,
already been done
yeah.
in this
And
life. It's not like something you could do in a computer that you can undo
mhm,
everything, every mistake. You just have to learn to stand up, take responsibility, face the consequences.
yeah.
Mhm.
But
I
you
hope
know what?
everyone has that courage. I
But
Yeah.
really
you know
do. I
what?
really do.
You know what?
What?
My exes, even though they asked me if they wanted to be friends, you know what they they did is that
What?
even if I like say hi, hello to them, they won't even notice me again.
Respond.
Yeah, they
They
won't
don't
respond.
respond.
Like, oh my goodness, why did you
That's
even ask that first?
hypocrisy. That's already hypocrisy. Why ask someone to be friends with you in the first place? You're not gonna like, we're not even gonna respond to a simple
Yeah,
hi.
Mhm.
Maybe they're
yeah.
just malicious or what. Maybe they're thinking that you're gonna go back to them. You're gonna
I
get
think they're
back.
still holding the grudge there.
Well, let's just say there's an old saying I heard from a great idol of mine in history.
Mm,
Um, Julius Caesar once said, "You'd find more people willing to die than you are to find people willing to go through to go through with you through the pain." And
mm,
that's literally the sad part with us in humanity. We are used on like we are so used on trying to quote unquote end things than we are trying to persevere to go forward. That's literally what our species has been doing for thousands of years. And you're throwing away the towel just because of that? How petty can people get?
well, that's just really like the gist of life. But we'll get over it soon.
Yeah, this is just a phase.
It's a phase.
Everything is just a phase. And I also, who said earlier about the next page something?
I think
Was
that's
it
me again.
UJM?
Yeah,
Like in LDR, we don't really know what's on the next page.
yeah.
You said that right. Well, it's true because not just in LDR, but in every aspect of our lives, we really don't have any idea what's on the next page, right? Until
Mm.
you have to turn that page.
Until you poke it,
Mm.
see what happens. But it LDR, I wouldn't really like go into that realm. It's never easy. It's that stigma that we have,
Mhm.
especially in like the Filipino culture. LDR yan, hindi yan
Di yan
tatagalan.
mag-work,
Oo.
something like that. Pero
Yeah.
we could also deny the fact that there are some LDR relationships that work, right? Maybe LDR is just
Is it
for not for us. Maybe it's for
uh,
some people, but not for us.
Yeah, again, there are people, again, not every path chosen by different people can work for you necessarily.
Hmm.
Again, sometimes you just have to choose another.
I
That's
mean,
really what you only have to choose. Like, yeah, there's no one guarantee way to get a girlfriend. Love isn't exactly a science, is it?
mm, it's
yeah,
an alchemy.
I would say it's an experiment.
I would say
I
it's
don't
If it
know.
art,
works,
but
if it
yeah,
works, it works.
experiment also sounds pretty aight.
But
Oh
for
man.
me, to be honest, LDR is not a problem. It's not.
Mm. As long
You
as you
just
trust that
have to
person,
choose the
yeah.
people, to choose the right person who you're going to be with, whether it's LDR or not.
Mm. Uh, well, relationships right now, and realistically, in college, and it could work, but man, let's just focus on like our course. Let's just finish this thing.
Yeah, especially your courses. It's not a
Oh my
so-so
goodness.
course.
No, it's not. It's a no joke course. Especially here, like in our current situation, like the pandemic and stuff. Like
Yeah, you can't even do the
relationships right now
actual
is not a
the act.
priority. I don't know what went that with that guy, but no.
There's still a lot of stuff that needs to be said actually, that needs to be spoken, but I think it's better because there are just some words and some things that are meant to be unspoken, right?
Like there are things in the relationship you should never like really need to share.
Yeah.
It's between with that person and that person. It's never between like this person and your friends, for example. No, because what you experience will totally sound different from the perspective of your friends.
Of other
Like you,
people.
if even though if it's like a good thing between the both of you, people will just have this like mentality na yan, di yan para sa like
So nega.
yeah, so
Why?
negative.
But it's true that whatever we consider good may not be good to other people, and same for the bad ones also.
Like and me in a relationship during this pandemic, it was a good thing long run hypothetically, but
Hmm.
right now eh, it just gets harder and harder.
No matter how hard it is, still at the end of the day, we're gonna learn something from it, right? So it's
Yeah,
not really a loss. I'm not gonna
not a
consider
lot.
this as a loss. It's a lesson, more like a lesson.
Yeah, but I'm also grateful for my ex too, because the things that I could have done to another person, I won't realize that until I've done it. You get what I'm saying there?
I also wish I could say that I'm thankful, I, but right now I can't. I'm still on the edge,
Yeah,
hanging bitterly.
yeah. That's why like every time when there's like a relationship that we have, we always need to reflect on the things we did. Like a reflection is a good way of understanding how our actions went and how we could like avoid it in the near future. Even though
Yeah,
it, even though we get into a relationship right after that, there's always a reason why we left that relationship. So the person didn't tell like feel true, but you could say in your own space that you've did what you could have done, and I could learn from what you've did from happening to me in the future.
Mm-hmm.
That's why, like, I think Iman would agree to this. Like, reflection is a good basis of how you could grow and develop into a person in the future.
It's true. Some
I mean, yeah,
relationships doesn't work because it's meant to teach us a lesson so that for
yeah.
our next relationships we'll be stronger, wiser, and more mature.
Mm-hmm.
It's sad, but there are just some relationships that doesn't last because maybe it's not meant for you. It's not meant to be.
It's simply
Mhm.
uncompatible. Then again, yeah, not everything lasts. We'll even us will all one day end up six
Yeah,
feet below the
6 feet
earth,
below the ground. It's
being
true.
worm food or whatever. But
Nothing
The
still,
worm
lasts.
food.
yeah, but still, that what makes that alone, our mortality is what makes life so great. It's our only chance to experience stuff as ourselves. For a
Hmm.
Hindu, if you believe in reincarnation, there's a reason why they still believe that every individual, in their opinion, though reincarnated, are still are still individuals because only they can experience life in the way you see it. Only your eyes are meant for your brain to process the world around you. This is how life is. You only got one shot at it if you're a Christian, or if you're a Buddhist, several shots, but you have several or infinite ways in order to approach your experience in life. That's how
Yes.
we should all think about it.
And yes, and
There's no,
regardless of whatever religion you're in, life is
yeah,
priceless,
yeah,
and that's the fact.
yeah.
Mhm.
So yeah, take little steps or big leaps, whatever works for you.
But logically, remember that,
Take
Yes,
Iman.
risks. You have
Logically.
to take
lo-
risks.
but then again, again, to reiterate what I said, we aren't logical
I'm
beings
so
to
sorry.
begin with. Yeah, humanity as a whole aren't logical beings. If we were logical, we would have ended all our problems ever since the Stone Age. But nope, we end up making problems.
Man.
The best way
Like,
to live through our problems?
yeah,
Solve it.
true, true. Words to that, my man. But
Hands
yeah,
up.
life life is short. It's true. It even for me, like, I thought today was like Friday, but in actuality, it's coming near to a Sunday. So you have you have to ground yourself in reality first, and a goal that make life as it is right now for you, and make sure that what you did can be a benefit person that you have shared it from. Even if it's like your friends, even if it's like your classmates or your family, make sure that what you leave behind is a way that they could benefit from not having those mistakes redone again, not repeating itself. No, because life is just like a really big circle and it goes round and round. And if you don't clear with those mistakes, make sure if you didn't from that mistakes, it could just make you round in circles, man. It's never easy if you have that kind of mentality.
Agreed. Amen to that, brother.
But
I
hey,
mean, yeah, seriously. The world, the planet rotates around the sun. which causes 365 days a year for us. And and you're telling me out of those 365 days you've been sitting in your butt doing nothing productive for yourself or your family, bruh, it's your fault if you have a life given to you and you don't do anything with it. Like, it's so sad that a lot of us unconsciously promote being lazy, or at least to the point of literally doing nothing, not being helpful at least. I mean, there's a difference between wanting to relax on your chair, eating chips, watching TV, and literally just being an absolute slob, not even helping yourself, your mom, or your dad, or your friends on anything, literally just being a burden. Do you really want to spend your precious moments on earth doing that?
I hope he hears this. It would slap him in the face.
Yeah, there's no problem to sit back and relax. That's literally human nature. It's part of our method of survival. But again, if you just sit around do nothing, you'll literally get no problem solved, and might even cause more problems to begin with.
It's true. If you want to make a difference, you have to start it with yourself.
Yeah. And cheating is never an answer.
Cheating is never an option in the first place.
Right.
It should never be an option. Why does even
And-
cheating exist? Oh my gosh.
And with that, we could end the episode. And with that, do you have any socials that you could share, everyone? Or do you
Um,
have any shout outs?
No, I don't think I have to mention some names here. This is like for almost everyone naman. Socials. I can have my Instagram. I can give
Sure.
you my Instagram.
All right. What's your Instagram? Can you spell it out for everyone?
It's Hanah, spelled as HEYY_NAAH.
And with that, see you on the next episode, guys. Hit that subscribe button and like and share. Hit that notification bell as well to get all the notifications that he will give out to you.
And until next time.
Thank you guys.
to
Yeah.
another podcast.
Yeah.
Bye.
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 And that's a wrap. Good one.